It was a typical Sunday afternoon in our small apartment. My best friend Rachel and I were hanging out in the kitchen. The warm sunlight streaming through the window highlighted the dust particles dancing in the air, giving the space a cozy feel. We had spent the morning lounging on the couch watching TV, but as the sun started to set, we decided it was time for lunch. I began to rummage through the fridge, looking for something to eat, while Rachel settled onto one of the stools at the counter, her eyes fixed on me with interest. As I pulled out a container of leftover pasta, I posed a "what would you do" scenario that would spark a heated debate between us. If we could only have one type of food for the rest of our lives, I said, what would it be? Rachel's eyes lit up with excitement as she thought about the question. She tapped her fingers on the counter, a habit she had when deep in thought. After a moment, she spoke up. "I think I'd choose pizza," she said confidently. "I mean, what's not to love? The combination of melted cheese, savory sauce, and various toppings is unbeatable." I nodded in agreement but then added a twist to the debate. "But what if you could only have one topping on your pizza?" I asked. Rachel's expression changed from confident to thoughtful. She furrowed her brow, considering the new challenge. After a moment, she replied, "That's a tough one. I think I'd choose pepperoni. It's classic and it pairs well with the cheese and sauce." I smiled, impressed by her answer. "That's a great choice," I said. "But what about you? What would your go-to topping be?" I asked, turning the question back to myself. As I thought about the question, I realized that my favorite topping was actually bacon. There was something about the smoky flavor and crunchy texture that made it irresistible to me. But when I mentioned this to Rachel, she raised an eyebrow. "Bacon? Really?" she said, a hint of amusement in her voice. "I wouldn't have pegged you as a bacon fan." I shrugged, feeling a bit self-conscious about my choice. "Hey, don't judge me," I said with a laugh. "Bacon is delicious, and it's the perfect addition to any pizza." Rachel chuckled, and we continued to debate the merits of different toppings. As we talked, I pulled out a few slices of bread from the pantry and began to make some sandwiches. The aroma of freshly toasted bread filled the air, making our mouths water in anticipation. As we sat down to eat, Rachel turned to me with a mischievous glint in her eye. "You know what would be even better than pizza," she said, a sly smile spreading across her face. I raised an eyebrow, intrigued by the suggestion. "What's that?" I asked. Rachel leaned in, a conspiratorial tone to her voice. "A pizza party," she whispered. "We could invite our friends over, make a bunch of different pizzas, and have a blast." My eyes widened at the idea, and I felt a surge of excitement. A pizza party sounded like the perfect way to spend a Sunday afternoon. As we finished our sandwiches and began to clean up the kitchen, Rachel turned to me with a serious expression. "You know what," she said, her voice filled with conviction. "I think I'd choose pizza for one reason: it's the ultimate comfort food." I nodded in agreement, feeling a sense of solidarity with my friend. "I couldn't agree more," I said. "There's just something about a warm slice of pizza that makes everything feel right with the world." As we finished up our conversation and began to tidy up the kitchen, I realized that sometimes the best debates are the ones that lead to new ideas and exciting possibilities. And in this case, it was the idea of a pizza party that had sparked a chain reaction of creativity and enthusiasm. As we put away the last of the dishes and settled back onto the couch, Rachel turned to me with a contented sigh. "I'm so glad we had this conversation," she said, her eyes shining with happiness. I smiled, feeling grateful for our friendship and the joy it brought into my life. "Me too," I replied, snuggling up beside her on the couch. It's always more fun to explore new ideas and possibilities with a friend by your side.